All right. Let's see. We're all here. Are we ready to go with a new round of uh we're we're here in with Vault Companions, and we're doing the premiere episode of Bioshock Perdition. Welcome everyone. We're going to be playing with Kids on Bikes today. Slight modifications, but we'll get into that maybe a little bit later. Table introduction. I am Patrick. I will be your game master for today. My pronouns are he, him. My screen name is Mr. Patrick Cakes, and I will throw it over to Natalie.
Hi, everybody. My name's Natalie, she, they. You can find me most places. Ghost Candle, anywhere. It's basically me. And today I am playing Addison, she, her. She's a civil engineer in Rapture. So if you know what a civil engineer is, well, you can guess how fun of a job that is in Rapture.
Okay, let's go ahead and throw it over to Sparrow.
Hello, hi. I am your favorite burb on the interweb, A Black Sparrow. I am, my pronouns are he, him. I am playing Wendy Hendricks, who pronouns are also he, him. Also civil engineer, and very excited to be here.
All right, let's go ahead and go into Dianna.
Hiya, I am Dianna, also known as Girl Pants on the internets, she, her. And today I am playing Helena Hellcat Ortega, once the reigning fighting champ of Rapture. So an old, washed up boxer. Really excited to be here.
All right, and we'll go on over to Flynn.
Hi, my name is Flynn. They, she, and my character name is Josephine Holiday, who is she, her. And she is a dancer at Eve's Garden / bottle girl / informant. But you can... Did I say my screen name? It's OMG Flynn. Sorry, I messed up. But...
Okay. Well, I'd like to remind everyone that we have a tip jar to support this wonderful cast here. For $1, you will have our deep gratitude. For $3, you can buy a Hippo of Eve, which will give +2 on any roll for a player. For $5, you can give a player Adam. Give a player a token of Adam. Those can be very valuable. Coming up, go to our Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/vaultcompanions. Content warnings. Bioshock Perdition is set in a volatile underwater environment with society in turmoil. Please enjoy responsibly. Content warnings for this episode may include war, fantasy violence, harm to loved ones, substance use and abuse, body horror, monsters and monstrosities, descriptions of severe illness, guns, memory loss, societal collapse, characters in crisis after traumatic experiences, both recent and in the past, interrogations, mentions of injections, torture, drowning, claustrophobia, mental breakdown / paranoia, or jump scares. We encourage you to step away if at any point this content becomes not enjoyable for you. We are keeping each other safe at the table and want you to be safe as well. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get ourselves started. Beyond coastline and waves, far out in the Atlantic, in a city, but this marvel of creation, does not exist atop the surf, standing against the ocean wind, but down, deep underwater, ocean floor. This is the city of Rapture, a wonder of glass and steel of hard lines and chevrons, where giant swig can swim past neon billboards or Oxford Club cigarettes. This sprawling metropolis is the product of billionaire Andrew Ryan. Here, a man is free to profit from the hard work and ingenuity. We're in Market Street, a long promenade. A series of shops and boutiques line one side, and an enormous 3-story window lines the other. The windows look out into the blue ocean, but for the cacophony of skyscrapers interrupting the panorama. A woman steps out a frosted glass door with the words Marshall, P.I. printed on the front. Natalie, would you introduce us to your character?
Yeah, so Addison takes a long drag of a cigarette that she recently lit the moment she walked outside. Addison would describe herself as a woman that looks like she lives solely on black coffee, cigarettes, and stale bagels. She is a very exhausted woman. Her brown, wavy hair just kept back in a braid. She has visible scars on her face. She wears a lot of muted, like, blacks and browns in her dress shirt and a long skirt. And just a very simple but loose white silk tie around her neck. She fiddles a bit with her clipboard, just making sure she knows her notes for the day, scratching her head, just like sighing to herself, remembering that it is New Year's. There's supposed to be a holiday, but the work is never done.
You have all of that ruminating in your head as you step out in the cacophony of the street. Only sound isn't natural. It seems distorted, as if on a recording. As you look out, you watch as many people slowly traverse the walkway, only they aren't as they should be. Their movements are slow as if trying to walk through thick mud, and they also appear to be stark white as if they were made entirely out of salt. You hear a sound and look up to the enormous window peering into the ocean. At the top, you see the rivets begin to fall out of the window. Water pours in and starts to creep up along the floor. It pools at the bottom of the street, at first merely puddles, but slowly creeps up. Soon the water's at your knees. And you watch as the people around you walk through the rising water, their legs dissolving as they slowly sink into the growing tide. Water rises at your waist as you watch a couple, hand in hand, slowly fall into the water, dissolving. The man's face, his eyes catching you as you wake up on the train car. You have fallen asleep on your way to work. Let me get this real quick.
Oh, I knew that cream cheese was out of date. Ugh.
You wake up on the Rapture Metro. No one was around you to see your brief little episode, but you jar yourself awake as the speaker crackles to life over the tram. It's like Daedalus Circle, reminding everyone to listen in on Andrew Ryan's citywide New Year's celebration speech later tonight. And you step out onto Daedalus Circle. Daedalus Circle is actually this very well-to-do, affluent neighborhood of Rapture, where kind of like the white-collar, more professionals live and work. And where all of the top prestigious firms are located, are housed. And you eventually make your way to your firm, Pyatt and Pyatt Architecture. The metallic mechanisms clank against each other as the door raises, and it reveals an austere office space with 4 doors. Could you make me a charm check? The DC is 7.
All right. So my charm is a D10. So let's see how we do. I rolled a 2.
Go ahead and give yourself a token of Adam. You see your boss's door. You see that he's busy inside, but you just kind of breeze past it, going straight to your office because there are things to do. As you make a sharp left turn into your office space, you are greeted by a short brunette with rosy cheeks and a button nose, Marla Tart. She's wearing a rather sharp dress with a bit of tulle to disguise how truly tiny she is. Oh my goodness! Yeah, get ready for a rough one. The Festive main line ruptured, so we're already down 3 bounces and 2 rosies for the next week. I'm still working that leak for the starboard side of Adonis, and I gotta find like 12 places to install Vita chambers. And Sandra Cohen sent me a tuna dipped in penning, so I gotta figure out the message there. So I guess Happy New Year's to us.
And Addison just like has this like near disdain in her eyes. It's way too early in the morning for this. He just nods. Just bring me 5 cups of coffee. You know what? Just bring me the whole damn machine. Let's see what we can do. And I just walk on.
2 seconds. All right. So she hands you a manila folder, and inside is a docket. Oldest complaint, first newest, like at the top, at the back. Could you make me? Oh, also, you look around the office. It's just you and Marla. Percy Dunn, your other co-worker, is still out on medical leave, so it's just you two in the office for today. Could you make me a brains check? The DC is 8.
All right. So I have a D12. So let's see. +1. All right, let's get the bad rolls out of the way. So that's a 5 total.
So go ahead and give yourself a token of Adam. Really racking those up. I'm just going to read you a list of things that need your immediate attention. Neptune's bounty has an exterior door that takes 15 seconds too long in sealing. Every fishing vessel that leaves or returned has a 9% chance of jamming and flooding the lower levels. Olympus Heights foundation shifted. Without stabilization, the tower will lean. The gradient will be imperceptible for only another 20 days. There's still some inspections that need to be made on the former linkage to Fontaine Futuristics. When you severed that link between the two of you, it was a really abrupt and severe thing to do, and the structural integrity suffered because of it. Arcadia is losing pressure in the air filtration system. As Rapture adds more sections to the city, the initial plan of this central hub being the lungs of the city isn't cutting anymore. You need to build some kind of pump station to possibly get more air going to the extremities of Rapture. If you don't, the consequences could become lethal. And all of this hits you. What is Addison's reaction as you're reading down this entire docket?
She reads it over a second time as she goes around her desk, pulling out some papers, still the list in her hand, and starts marking down what she thinks is most immediate, which would be the Arcadia, and then following out with Foundation and so on and so forth. And she sort of just cocks an eyebrow towards Marla. You're like, you really weren't kidding.
Marla gives you that like sympathetic look, but she's at her desk, like her hair definitely was down, and she's put it up, and she's like at work. You're trying to allocate resources. You're at your desk, like you're already down. Your Big Daddies are unfortunately in short supply, so you really have to pick your battles today. And then the office door opens up, and Caleb Pyatt, a broad, nondescript man in a brown suit with wire-rimmed glasses and sandy blonde hair, the Pyatt in Pyatt and Pyatt. He's actually both Pyatts. He saw that most firms have a partnership or something to work off of each other, and just put his name twice. So he comes in, Addison, lovely to see you. Listen, since your plate is a bit light today, I thought I'd loop you in on a high priority project. absolutely imperative that we devote time to this today. Miss Dawkins has a boutique on High Street, Maison Boat. You've probably seen it. There's a large duct with an egress right over the shop, and the condensation is dripping down. And she's worried that some of her customers might have a small slip in the puddle, and we don't want any of that for our customers. So if we could perhaps move it, that uh, that egress from over the top of her shop, that would put her mind at ease. Could you make a charm check, DC 5?
Okay. 9.
His face is flushed. His pants are very recently re cinched up. Um, he is continuing his affair with Miss Darlow, and you are unfortunately suffering the consequences.
Mm-hmm. She takes a long sip of her coffee. Narrowed eyes. Puts it down solidly. Gives like the copy of a list in his hands. It's like, all right, if you really think it's this super important, then I don't know, airways and keeping foundation from falling. Sure, we can handle this.
I'm glad to see your understanding of this issue. You see, he does not register what you said, and you are, unfortunately, you have quite a few things that you need to devote your attention to, but you also have kind of like an ace in the hole.
I immediately look for the phone and pull out my numbers.
You have a friend that you can definitely get to. And with that, we're going to cut away to Artemis Suites off of Apollo Square. It's awash with movement and vigor as citizens of Rapture start their day. There's children running up and down the stairs, laundry lines hung across the corner of the atrium, and crowded families shuffling out of the single family apartments they've been crammed into. A man walks down the last of the stairs and makes his way toward the metro, passing a few youths plastering up posters with the words, "Who is Atlas?" and depicting a man in noble profile. The teenagers finish with their last poster just in time to see the man loom over them. Sparrow, would you introduce us to your character?
Yeah. So Wendell stands about 6 feet even, maybe like 6.01 on a good day. And he is he's kind of triangular, very wide at the shoulder, narrower at the hip. Very short hair, like almost buzz cut. Some stubble that looks like he's maybe like 2 days past when he should have shaved last. He's got a navy blue, like just shirt buttoned down. He has the odd predilection of buttoning it all the way up and all the way down. The sleeves are rolled up to about the elbow. He's got like a belt on, and for some reason or another, a giant wrench is with him almost at all times. And some octagonal glasses that are tortoiseshell colored, but instead of them being mostly like sandy versions of brown, there's some like cerulean blue in them.
Yeah, you step out, adjust yourself with your final last touches for the day. The teens see you and scatter. They're more miscreant than revolutionary. Could you give me a grit check, DC 5?
Yes, I can. That is... It's a 2.
I mean,
Dang.
man, you should have, like, you don't know, you're not really, you're not really worried what the kids are doing. They're just kids, but you're kind of worried. You spot the camera in the atrium looking over as it pans around. You're like, oh man, it might have caught them on film. You're like, you're gonna have to warn them later if you want to keep them from getting mixed up in the wrong places. As you move on from that, you continue on toward the metro, passing through a security checkpoint with two uniformed Rapture security who seem more interested in their New Year's plans than the people they're monitoring. Like they're sitting there just being like, "Oh yeah, I tried to get one of the tickets for that New Year's bash at Cashmere Restaurant, but man, the wait list on that thing is just it's bad. I don't know. Maybe your girl Andrea can get me in. Oh, man, she can't get me into nowhere. I keep on asking her. She just can't help me out. And you have like a moment to yourself. You're not, you're a little bit early for work, so you kind of have time to just enjoy your morning as you're getting to work. So you're in no rush. Is there anything you'd like to do before work? Perhaps like stop at the Central Bar to say hi to Santiago, or get something to eat at Mama Georgia's grocery, or maybe even read an issue of the Rapture Tribune.
I think Wendy believes in getting some good food in him, because with his work, who knows? Who knows? There may be some days where he thinks he's going to get a decent time for lunch, and then he doesn't. So
absolutely.
So I think that's his move. His move first.
You step into the little like kind of bodega, and you see this hunched over, like all wearing all black, like tiny old woman with like this permanent scowl, sharp nose, and just like hair, like gray hair, like pulled sharply back. And she looks up at you. She like kind of, Wendy, when you fix my freezer?
Mama Georgina, honey, you know what? I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with these jobs. All right? Shouldn't take me more than a day.
Pipes are breaking and they're leaking into all the freezer, and it's a mess, and I cannot work like this.
Mama Georgina, I was just back there 2 days ago fixing that freezer. What have you done? What kind of whirlwind?
You did bad job. And she angrily pulls out this small wooden bowl with like a cloth tied over it and slides it over. You're very familiar with this. This is Mama Georgia's like her favorite pasta dish to make, and she like infuses it with sardines that gives it like a nice umami punch. And she slides it over to you, and she says, "There, it's poison. It's poison, so you die and you haunt my freezer until you come back and fix
it." Sure thing, Mama Georgina. Your poison is the best. And he like kind of just like carefully like cradles the bowl, like just scoops it over, takes She's probably got some like the wrapped up utensils and the napkins.
Oh,
like
yeah,
out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he's gonna set down. He normally overpays. So if the meal costs like $1.50, he's giving her like $3. Like, so like he sets that out and just like slides it away from him, but he's not looking at her or the money. He's looking at the food.
As you step out the door, she shouts at you, "What are you doing paying? Fix my freezer!" And you make your way out.
He just like waves like behind him, like doesn't look back, just like yep, get on it. This woman breaks a freezer faster than she changes her underwear. He'll get on it eventually.
You understand that this is actually a flaw in the building of Rapture. One of the things that they did to cut corners was that you're underwater. Underwater that deep is so cold that you actually have to insulate the entire structure to keep everyone from just freezing to death inside of this metal tube. But some places, morgues, groceries, restaurants, they need freezers. So they just remove the insulation on the inside and it compromised the structural integrity. So you know that like you keep on doing these path jobs and they're working less and less. Like every single time you show up, like it lasts maybe 6 days and lasts 5 days. And you just have to keep on doing this until you can requisition a big daddy to get outside and actually apply like an actual like fabricated fix to the structure. It's a problem that's just going to keep on happening. But that's not something you can do quite yet. Is there anything else you'd like to do before you go to work?
Wendy's big with like he as he's thinking about this, walking out, he pulls a small restaurant style like notepad out of the back pocket of his slacks, and he just like flips a pen that's like, you know, in the little metal wiring out and flips it over to his left hand and just writes very quickly, just like, see about Big Daddy for Mama Georgina, and then like slides it right back in. And he kind of puts like a question mark with like a sad face next to it because he's like, it's probably not gonna happen. But he puts that in there just, if nothing else, to just be like, hey, I did my best, but like, this is what I'm working with here. And then he puts it back in. He kind of just like tosses it back over to his right hand, slides it into his back, the back pocket of his slacks. And Wendy is very much of the school of, if you're not early, you're late, kind of. So he's there far earlier than he has any right to, honestly, to be as far as work is concerned. So it's like food and then directly to work, because the last thing that some supervisor is going to say is that he was late. Like last thing.
You're actually like you kind of have the run of things because of your knowledge. Like you've had supervisors come in and try and instruct you on things, but they usually give up immediately, and it's just like, so you know what you're talking about. So you make your way to your like little office, like a small workshop between a tram depot and a maintenance access to the outside of Rapture. There's several workbenches for the few machinists who work with you in this space, all strewn with raw materials needed to build or slag or needed to reclaim. But one of your machinists is actually there already, Riko Tanaka. She's your most reliable, talented machinist. It's often frustrating to work with her because you offer some guidance and it will always be ignored in favor of her way. And she's eminently talented. She's one of the only few people you've seen use electro bolts, the plasmid, with such control that she can actually tack weld with her fingertips, like two sheets, pushing her finger down on it and put the weld there. She just doesn't like to do it a lot because it burns away her fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
But she's already there working on like a brass gauge. Her kind of moppish hair just kind of in her face as she is unconcerned with anything else. But she kind of nods in your direction. You got a boss? You got a job, boss? Because you're about to. And she motions to a small workspace off to the side, where it seems that you see a familiar face sitting in the wings, Miss Addison Fox.
Wendy looks over at Rico and gives us a smile that I think I think we would wager that they know each other fairly well. Yeah. A smile as if to say, wonderful, like very sarcastic, like there's no eye roll, but it's implied, like.
Yeah, definitely. You have your own language for exactly what this situation is.
And then straightening up a little bit, walks over and looks Addison in the face and goes, hello, my name is Mr. Hendricks. You can call me Wendell or Mr. Hendricks. How can I assist you today?
Well, good morning, Mr. Hendricks. My name, Addison Fox, Mrs. Fox. Well, unfortunately, I may have to ruin your day. And she puts a folder on the table because mine is constantly being ruined. So I have to bring others into it to enjoy the ruination with me.
I see. And not taking eyes off of Addison yet, kind of just grabs the folder, and then at the last possible second of opening it up, then glances down into this folder to review.
You go ahead and give me a brains. I'll say 5. DC 5.
Alrighty, that is going to be a 9.
You see the particulars of this job. Maison Vode is you've seen it before. You don't make it over to Market Street very often. You have no real need to, but you know of the place, and you see that condensation is forming on the underneath the storefront, and you immediately put together the Market Street is at the end of a long hallway, and it ends on Maison Vosges. But next door to it is the Watch Clock Cafe. So you're having this long tube of cold, air being compressed and chilled, meeting this strong front of warm air from the cafe, and it's meeting up at that Maison Vosges, and that new marquee that they put up that looks like a theater marquee with the giant letters out front. It's just catching it and just dripping it down. And you can immediately pick that this job is not hard at all. It is tedious. It will take you an entire day of welding brackets to the upper wall to try and divert condensation away. You'll have to build scaffolding. It'll be a lot of just really boring, mindless work that is not hard at all, but you will not do anything else with your day today.
I see. I figure this is kind of a recipe for some bad weather with the cold front and the heat and such, but Mrs. Fox, we can get this done for you. I will head this up personally. How's that?
That sounds wonderful. And she stands up and adjusts her clipboard. I'll be honest, Mr. Hendricks, it's quite a mess with things, as I'm sure you have seen as a fellow engineer. I hope this is just one less job in the future, hopefully.
Natalie, go ahead and make a grit roll, and you'll be rolling against Sparrow. You need to roll a charm roll.
Okay.
Well, my grit, I roll with a D20. I rolled a nat 20, so...
Ain't gonna beat me doing my best with charm, which is a 6.
Oh, wait, technically,
okay.
Doesn't mine explode?
It does, actually.
Oh,
that's
yeah, I guess they both explode.
I forgot to mention.
Right.
Kids on bikes, when you get the top number on a die, it explodes. So go ahead and roll again.
Okay, I rolled a 4, so a total of 24.
Total of 10.
Sparrow, you understand, like, the nature of this job is not complex. It's just man hours. You could the amount of money that you could ask for, if it were any other, like you can kind of get a read on Addison. If it were anyone else, you could get like you could get your bag all today. But Addison, you know that your actual stipend, your budget it tops out at 800 for the month, and you have to spread that out. So you a generous offer would be $175 because Wendy is only going to be able to pick up jobs for like 50 here around abouts.
All right.
And so, Wendy, you're faced with this decision. Do you take the job for $175, or is there things that are more urgent in Apollo Square?
Oh, that's a good point. I think he's gonna take the job.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be happy about it, but like he won't admit it to himself, but this is a bit of a slippery slope in that like he keeps getting summoned for stuff that is further and further away from Apollo Square, and he keeps saying yes because he's too nice in some ways, and for some reason, as I roll my eyes, he feels like he is one to be taken advantage of in a space like Rapture, despite who he is, intellect wise. But I also feel like he doesn't really, like he's not really the money guy, if that makes sense. Like he is going to basically, he's going to agree to the job, and he's going to let whoever is directly above him sort that out with Addison. Like if they got to argue on funds, they can argue on funds. You pay me to work this job, and I'm doing it. So
yeah.
So he's less worried about the money. He just wants to get this over with so he can get back to the square.
Yeah. You step away. You get to your workbench across from Rico, and you start packing up. And for the first time, she actually looks up, and her eyebrow arches just slightly, as if just kind of wanting to confirm.
He just clicks his tongue once. The mic might not catch it, so I'm just going to say that he does it. That's just kind of like all right. Like,
you see her shrug in that kind of understanding of like, hey, man's got to eat.
Yeah, this is very like nail salon techs talking to themselves in a way that no one else can really understand, except it's like these two engineers. But they're in less danger of somebody figuring out what they're saying.
Yeah, you actually you pack up and head out, but you do realize that on your way, you could actually you could probably Fort Frolic is on the way. You can stop by and see a friend real quick before you get onto a job.
Good.
I mean,
it's gonna be the whole day, so I might as well, like just like Wendy thought. Like you were like, oh, I might do a job or two, get lunch, and then maybe see a friend or go just take a wander. And you don't, no lunch, possibly like a late dinner on New Year's because of this job. So yeah, might as well do it now.
Yeah. You're taking off for a quick detour at Fort Frolic, where we're going to cut away. Fort Frolic is awash with revelry. It may be 10 hours until New Year, but the crowd is treating the occasion as a boundless bacchanalia. connoisseurs are happy to part with cash in the high-end Sophia Salon. Lively discussions and exuberance can be heard in the cocktail lounge as theatergoers wait for the next performance in the Fleet Hall. There is just an abundance going on as the hour ticks on and on. And a bit further up the lower plaza stands a marquee emblazoned with neon that reads Eve's Garden. Men and women smile and laugh as they cross the threshold of vibrant city into the red hue and music saturated atmosphere. There's a bar off to the left with patrons drinking down their spirits, and the show is just finishing up on the intimate stage in the center. The lights and music dim for a moment before a record begins to spin. Flynn, would you say your routine is high tempo with like a thumping bass drum, like a dancey piece with a jazzy piano, or a sultry and alluring number with like a rolling trombone?
Thank you for asking, Patrick. It is definitely sultry and smooth. Uh, Something that if I was feeling it, like if I had the urge to like move a little bit faster than I could or whatever, but for the most part, I'm kind of walking around and feeling out the crowd as I perform as well.
Yeah, that record pops on. You hear the scratch as it catches in the groove, and that like starts like really like thumping in and kind of like filling like this groove into the entire theater. You're really like able to just kind of strut around the stage and do your performance. Is there like how is this like dance for you?
Well, mostly I'm kind of trying to keep an eye out and, well, I guess ear out for anything that would be happening kind of beyond the front row. So I'm getting close to like the front of the stage and being very alluring. But I'm kind of getting that way so that I can hear what people are chattering about as they kind of aren't paying as much attention to my beautiful dancing as they should be.
Give me a DC 4 charm check.
Okay, wait, hold on. Charm 8. Okay. Oh, okay. I roll a D8. Oh my gosh, and I got 8. Beautiful.
Go ahead and roll again.
Okay, I got 2. That's fine. 8, 9, 10. That's fine.
Yeah. You beat it by more than 5. You do an exceptional job. You have like the crowd goes from just enjoying their drinks and having a show around them to absolutely locked on your performance. They cannot escape just how much you command the stage right now. They're impassioned by how much you like can move with the music. You are able to like get them to jeer and like shout with uvulation whenever you like thrust even like a small bump to the left or maybe turn a shoulder or something like that. Just the smallest things get undying gratitude.
Love it. Yes, I definitely have a big old fluffy boa, so I'm getting probably a little bit too into it.
Yeah, and you have an incredible performance. I'll say that with that great role, you have $45 that you were able to tuck away from this performance.
Yes.
You move your way backstage. Your performance is over, and they want to take a small break. So you move to the back as the lights dim. You sit down at a mirror beside Jasmine Jolene, a pouty woman with long, lustrous hair who has perfected the term blonde bombshell. Like she finishes reapplying her deep red lipstick, but stares straight ahead. And she's just like, so glad we could pick up the early shift today. Place is packed, and I get up early enough for New Year's. You know she is having an on again, off again affair with Andrew Ryan. Jasmine doesn't like to spread gossip around herself, but she does like to brag to you about him. If you get her talking, she may give you valuable information on Andrew Ryan that you could trade. Could you give me a charm check of 4?
Okay, again, the 8. Okay, here we go. A 4. Okay. Oh, fuck me. Okay, it's 8. Yes.
Roll again.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have rolled. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's a 6.
Okay. You incredibly, she immediately opens up to you and is like, yeah. I asked Ryan, but he said that he couldn't tonight because he has something about work at a masquerade party at the Kashmir restaurant. And I don't know, like, is he seeing Rachel again? Because if he's seeing her again, that's it. We're done. I'm through playing these games.
Honey, you know that you're better than Miss Rachel. There is absolutely no way that he would be canoodling with that woman.
But like you see it in the papers, like you think every single time.
They're just after. It's just the press, you know. They feed and need all of these. I was gonna say clickbait, but that's not tabloids, huh? But you know, whatever. Sensationalism would be with print. Sensationalism. Thank you, Patrick. They need that. His eyes are only for you. It's just work. I'm sorry about that. He's bailing on you for it.
You see her like actually like her shoulders like roll a little bit, like the tension kind of moves away. And like she's just like confiding in you about like I tried to ask him about like any like if he wanted this watch. I saw him like look at a watch and I was like, I'll get it for you, but like he didn't even like say yes or no, and so like I can't even like get him anything because like he's Andrew Ryan. Whatever he wants, he gets on Rapture. So it's like, what do I even do with him?
Sweetheart, you're giving him everything that he wants. Don't worry. He has no other wants. You can't buy what you give him.
She finished she straight up puts down her makeup and hugs you because she just she doesn't want to she doesn't want to, she wants to embrace you for just like providing that comfort. But you are able to, you come away with the information that Andrew Ryan is going to be at Kashmir Restaurant tonight, which is, I mean, second best to having his actual planner.
Yes. Yes. Everything I wanted. Perfect. And also, I don't like hugs very much, so it's a back, you know, like yes, sweetie. Yes.
She doesn't even clock that you're brushing her off. Because as you finish up, a light ignites over the doorway, and she has to make her way on stage. But you pull out like a cocktail napkin from Eve's Garden, and you just write, "Got something, meet regular spot." And you finish off the rest of your shift. It's pretty uneventful, but as you're readying yourself to go, the bartender stops you on your way out. It's like, "Hey, Josephine, 2 things. Somebody by the name of Regit Chetri asked if you'd meet him at Kashmir Restaurant tonight. Regit is an unfortunate irritation, an egotistical show-off, but he works as a lab assistant at Optimized Eugenics, formerly Fontaine Futuristics. Because of his penchant for bragging, it's kind of easy to get information out of him about the Big Daddy and Little Sister program. The consequence, however, is he's under the impression you are in love with him. But the upside is he always
rough.
pays for dinner.
Oh, I could play a part. I'm an actress. I do things. That's fine.
Bartender speaks up again.
Perfect. Thank you.
Also, hey, my man Wendy stopped by. Told him you were almost done and he's waiting outside.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, doll.
Okay,
And then
so
I
as you
hustle my ass to go rush to Wendy.
As you step outside, tell me who is Josephine Holiday? What does she look like as she steps out onto the street as Josephine Holiday and not in performance?
So, I mean, obviously, still all done up with the face and the hair and whatnot. But for the most part, right after she gets done with her performance, she will throw over, because outfit's a little bit more skimpy, right? So she's throwing over a robe that could kind of act as a dress, like if you tie it a certain way, you know what I mean? To be a little bit more conservative and presentable out there, but it's not flashy, not anything. It's kind of like a little bit more rugged and just something to cover up and go. But she's plump and 5'6" ish, a little bit short, but not average. I guess that's average, right? Average.
Yeah.
With short, super jet black hair and also bright red lips.
All right. You step outside and see Wendy leaning against some railing against the window, looking out onto the ocean.
Wendy, you'll never guess. So, Jolene, biggest mouth ever, told me exactly where Ryan is to be tonight, and now I have a reason to be there as well. And so all of the pieces are moving. I'll find out everything I need to know about the ridiculous Little Sisters program.
I see.
One step closer.
One step closer indeed, young Miss Holiday.
What are your plans for the night? Are you celebrating?
Well, it is an endearing laugh that you get in response, as if to say, like, no, like,
yeah,
you're sweet, but no. Somebody got to keep this big old city under the sea moving, and you're looking at them today.
Another job.
Always.
You never stop
Flynn,
moving.
I need you to make a grit check DC 7.
Okay. Grit is my D20. Oh, I can get a 7. Oh, I got a 15.
Okay.
Okay.
As you're listening to Wendy talk, there's just a moment where you've seen her. You know you saw her. She was, I mean, you saw two little girls walking up some stairs, and you could swear for a moment that one of them was her, but you catch yourself and you're like, no, it's two other little sisters. They're like, caretaker comes up and takes them away. But Wendy, you see that look on their face where they go somewhere and then they come back and kind of like try and continue a conversation like, hey, I didn't just have a panic.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy your little vacation there?
I'm paying full attention. Always working. Another job.
Young Miss Holiday, I know you're
enough.
paying attention now, but I saw your eyes sail away and come back. Is something wrong?
Brief moment of hope. That's it. Failed hope. Once again. It's fine.
It is my distinct impression that hope doesn't necessarily fail. It just gives way to reality at times.
You're right. That's
So,
true.
because you're still hoping, right?
Yes.
Then it ain't,
Yeah,
ain't failed you yet.
And I'm determined to make everything come to light and to get the results that I want. So you're right. Just
Okay.
momentary
Well,
lapse. We're good.
All right. Well, if you need me this evening, I will be at the Maison Bouche, making sure that water doesn't drip on the sugar-coated elite here down in Rapture.
You really said yes to that one. Okay. Okay.
Look at it this way, young Miss Holiday. If I don't do it, someone far less qualified is likely to and screw it up.
That's true. And they're going to end up coming back to you anyway to have it done later. So
I'd rather be repairing my own work than somebody else's.
fair enough. I'll do my best to bring you something to eat later, maybe.
If you get the notion.
Perfect. I'll get the notion.
Now, Wendy turns to Josephine, pushes himself off the wall, and kind of squares shoulder up, facing you. You be careful. All right?
I promise I will not draw too much attention to myself.
That's what I like to hear, but wasn't quite what I asked.
Right. I'll be careful. Yes.
All right. You are
Yes.
You are of your own adult mind. So all I can do is make sure that I prepare you as best I can and hope for the best.
Thank you, Wendy. And I squeeze his arm gently and start walking.
Gives you a nod and then begins kind of a whistling Looking Back by Nat King Cole as he is heading over to the Maison Bouge.
Yeah.
I die.
You watch your friend depart, hopefully to see him maybe later again tonight. We bring him maybe a small snack. As you make your way toward the welcome center, you make a slight detour, finding a familiar pneumatic tube. You retrieve the note scrawled from earlier, place it in the tube, and listen as the air sucks it away. From there, we move away. Few parts of Rapture are neglected. With the immense cost of construction for an underwater city, practicality necessitates efficiency. Use of every square foot of the structure. And yet, Popper's Drop seems long forgotten. The miserable inhabitants struggling for sustenance and livelihood everywhere you look seems to be long forgotten by Andrew Ryan. And it is exactly this negligence that makes it such an enticing locale for miscreants and ne'er-do-wells. Between the narrow walkways and alleys cutting behind the buildings, a woman walks out of the shadows, not quite blending in with the crowds of wretches that clutter and congregate. Dianna, would you introduce us to your character?
Yeah, so you see, as you said, a woman kind of coming out of the darkness. She stands relatively tall, little, you kind of see her. She's kind of built, like, even though she's, she's got like a bit of a frame. She's kind of built like a freight train with like broad shoulders, and the jacket's just a little too tight around the shoulders, but she walks and she's very lithe in how she kind of just like walks with sort of purpose. She's got like an olive skin tone, she's got like, you can see like she's got like old scars. She's got a slightly crooked nose that looks like it's been broken a couple times. And like dark hair that she keeps like, that's like looks really short, but like also kind of looks like it's been using a little bit of pomade and kind of like curls a little. And, you know, you see her that she kind of just moves it out of her way. And you know, and she's kind of like looking around, and as the light kind of shines, you see like she's got like these like sharp green eyes, and like she's got a couple of bags under her eyes, and like, I mean, you could say that she wears that she kind of wears exhaustion like in an accessory, and like as you saw her kind of just like move that curl out of her eyes, you also see that her hands are she's got like the boxing tape around her hands, and there's like a little bit of blood on them. You don't know if it's her blood or if it's not her blood, whatever, you don't know, but like you just see that like there's a little bit of blood, and some what are they called? Like brass knuckles that are kind of like tied by string like on her waist as well. She's pulls out a flask, takes a sip, and then she lights a cigarette and looks around.
Yeah, you have bloodied wrap because you recently came from a job. You are on the clock as well, and you continue past like a first aid dispenser and a shuttered newspaper vendor. The flecks of crimson on your knuckles prominent once you come out of the shadows. Across the plaza, you see Fontaine Clinics, the light flickering in the lobby with a handful of people milling by the door. The large billboard of King Ton looms over you as you step up to the door. It recedes into the ceiling to reveal a shop cluttered with trinkets and memories of those less fortunate. You see there's a collection of different instruments, there's firearms, there's even pots and pans that have some semblance of use still. Behind the counter is a 5 foot nothing woman with deep, dark wrinkles and short hair the same color gray as a thundering coastal storm. Danny King wears a dark jacket with gold pinstripe and an indigo floral print underneath. Standing in sharp contrast to the world around her, she is carefully tuning a violin recently parted with. Oh yeah, tell me to laugh and he paid up, and we can be done with him.
I need you to speak up a little louder. I still got a little bit of ringing in my ear.
Oh yeah, did laugh if he pay up because we need his money on the books.
Yeah, he paid up. He paid up in service.
Can you actually make me a DC 5 charm check?
Charm? That's a D8 on mine.
All right.
And that is a 7.
All right. Yeah. He took some convincing, but you were able to get the total $150 out of his hand. And Danny, as like, puts her hand out to you to collect on the debt. I may have to close the book on Miss Lafferty. I don't like squeezing blood from stone.
Well, you shouldn't charge so hard on them. You know, don't demand so much out of them, and then, you know, they won't bleed as much.
I don't think you get the position that I'm in right now. With Fontaine out of the picture, I can't. I have no jobs. I'm sitting here waiting for things to come in, and I got nothing other than the debts that he left behind that I can collect on. And I can tell you, a pawn shop in a slum does not collect money the way it should be. I'm on the verge of collapse here, and if you have a better method for it, I'm all ears.
Yeah. Just my opinion is this is like everybody seems to be squeezing everybody else. Can't
Yeah.
squeeze can't squeeze something that's already dead, you know? But
I
here's
mean,
your 150. Give me my cut
um,
and then I'll get on out of here.
she slides $20 across the counter at you. All right. Well,
$20.
it's a hard business, my love.
Hey, hold on a second. Nah, that's not what we agreed to. You told me you wanted 150. You told me you'd give me 50 of the 150. What is this?
Um, she is a commanding presence, but not a big one. And you looming over her, she's like, I suppose fair is fair, and slides the rest of the money across. Is just trying to make an honest living here.
I get it. Like I said, we're all trying to live.
All right.
Nice doing business.
Actually, I've got another thing for you.
Huh?
Um, she's gonna motion towards the back, and she presses a button underneath the register. And a pneumatic door hisses and opens in the back, and she calls you back to it. Um, she locks the doors with a nut with a different button, and the two of you are free to move back to the office space.
Cool.
Um, she like kind of keeps her eye on you because she's a you know she's showing you a deeper part of her store than she is comfortable with. Um, but you walk back there and see like filing cabinets, a desk, and a safe, and you see like this strange glass and brass like structure being built back there, but it's still not complete. Um, Hard to really tell what it is. Um, she goes over to the safe and opens it real quick. Like, I got a message earlier today. I think it might help us out a bit. Um, and
I'm listening.
she slides a Eve's Garden cocktail napkin across the table that has the words got something, meet regular spot. Your informant. Is she fairly reliable?
She's straight.
All right, because I've got something, but I don't want to part with it for lint and table scraps.
Danny. Danny. Come on. Listen. The relationship that you and I have always had is that I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You know, before things went down, you know, like I used to feed the things, I used to help you out and get you those jobs from Fontaine, but like, you know, I feel like
I'll
I've earned
just
your trust, haven't I? I mean,
uh go ahead and give me a charm roll. Um just to kind of like grease the wheels.
a 5.
Uh they got a 5, so you see like you're kind of like metaphorically butting heads where she's like, I'm sticking myself out on a limb here, so I need your best discretion when you go to the meetup.
I'm not a snitch, and the implication that I am is a little concerning, Danny. I feel like you and I are a little beyond that.
All right. She hands you a folder, and she says, go ahead and meet up, but the instant you get what she's trading, I want you to get on the payphone in the back and give me a call. I want to be able to act on this right away.
Sure. I mean, can I like get like a sense of where she's coming from? There's a little. I just did. She like she's not being straight with me, and I don't like this.
Yeah. Go ahead. Give me a grit check. You're gonna do it opposed because they're.
I personally also don't like it when people lie to me either. So that sounded really threatening. I apologize. I mean, I don't apologize. All right, hold on a second. That's a 9. Nice.
Yeah, they got a 5, so you beat their roll.
Hey.
You can kind of. What you're seeing is someone that is they are a business that is used to everyone coming to them. Everyone knows them, so they come and like do trade information or send messages through them. But when Fontaine left, something happened where everything kind of evaporated around them, and so all of the structures that they depended on are just gone. And so it's not them being guarded; it's them being like the first chance that something comes up that's big, I gotta grab it and I gotta really reel it in. So this isn't like, hey, don't trust your source. This is, oh, good God, please let this source be good.
Got it. All right. Yeah. Yeah, sure, Danny. I got you.
All right. Just don't make a scene of it. I don't need anything coming back to me.
You know I always like to keep things discreet. Come
on. With that, you head off. You have your spot that you meet. It's the Fishbowl Diner. It's like a greasy spoon that, you know, people move in and out of it. It's fairly innocuous. Food is more really served. It's more that they're serving oil with a side of food than they are serving food. So you pull up, like you come along the backside of it, and you see through the window a smaller woman, jet black hair and makeup, sitting in a booth.
Yeah, I try and I take the booth behind them, so that we're kind of sitting back to back. And then I call over the waitress and I'm like, 2 eggs over easy, toast, and a side of bacon.
Yeah, I'll see what Ricky can cook up. She scribbles it in and is off to the kitchen.
And I kind of lean back. I go, Danny, send me what's up.
Okay, so I just got news from a very reliable source that Miss.
Keep it down. Keep it down.
I also have a milkshake in front of me, just so that we're clear, like so that I could try and hide.
Okay.
But I okay.
Copy.
But fuck, I did forget the place that Ryan will be tonight. What is it called again? Chetty's?
Yeah, you know that he's. You've been told that he's going to the Cashmere restaurant.
Okay. I hear that Mr. Ryan will be at the Cashmere restaurant this evening, focused on some too important to celebrate work. So he'll be there all evening, no time to actually go out for any festivities.
What a shame.
Stuck in one spot. Yes. How terrible.
How did you get this info?
Mm. His
Come on, doll. If you can't say it, just say it. Come on.
Girlfriend, Jolene. I feel like girlfriend's a little too strong, but he didn't have time for her, so that he could be there. She's kind of upset about it, so nonstop talking about it.
So he's also got a girl named Jolene?
Yeah, Dianna, you would know. You would see in
I would know
tablets
that.
and stuff like that. Yeah, you would know that Jolene is the girl that he's most seen with. But he's like, I don't think you would know. Or actually, you know what? I'll let you roll for it. Give me a brains check. It's going to be pretty high because you're kind of putting things together. I'm going to say like a 10.
I fail.
Oh no!
no, because okay. Well, you know what? You never know. The gods may like me. It's a D6 for me.
You could explode.
You could explode.
It exploded.
You exploded. Okay.
I showed it right here. Holy crap.
Okay.
I'm sorry I
go ahead.
doubted you.
Go ahead and roll again. All you need is 4.
Okay.
Come on, dice.
Oh my god! I'm not kidding. It's a 4.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
4.
Absolutely.
I'm so smart.
You have you've spent your time in the backward, the underground. Like you are always applying information, so you know that Jolene is the name that they always are like, oh, that's who he's seeing. But he's constantly pictured with his assistant Rachel McClintock in a way that you're like, hey, this isn't a professional relationship, and that his girlfriend that is named is called his girlfriend is upset. You think that this isn't just a obligation for work. This is him two timing. So this is him night on the town, guard down.
All right. So he's cutting out on Jolene. Usually Jolene is the one who's out doing funny stuff. But good to know.
She seems to be upset about it, but I did put her mind at ease. So
Thank you.
she won't go out and be trying to figure anything out. We won't have that to deal with.
Excellent. And you feel solid. You feel solid that this is a solid lead.
Absolutely. She, like I said, is very upset. Won't shut the fuck up about it.
Dianna, without even telling you to roll, I will let you know that this is very valuable information to you that could be actually actionable. So I would say you can make the trade here and give the information over.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think that's what I do. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk over to like a booth or something, or like a telephone booth, and do a quick call. Do it sneakily, so nobody hears me, and I call Danny and let him know.
They are absolutely ecstatic at the information. They immediately come up with a list of people. They don't tell you, but they're there are things that they can act on with this information. And you can feel wheels immediately set in motion. And Danny does ask you, like, hey, can you go to the Cashmere restaurant? I will find a way to get you in to that hookup. Um, I I just want to. I need to get connected back to whatever is filling the vacuum now that Fontaine is gone.
What's the score though here, Danny? What's the end goal?
End goal is
You're not involving me in something bigger. It's something that's going to be uncomfortable for all of us. Huh?
no. If everything goes according to plan, you're just watching.
I feel like somebody said those exact same words to me a couple of weeks ago. But you know what? All right, Danny, I know you're not gonna steer me wrong. All right, let's go.
Okay, so from there, I think we're actually going to go to a break. So let's go ahead. Everyone get your bios. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. All right. We are back. We were in the midst of quite a few tangled threads. Let's actually take you there. We cut away. Hellcat had just phoned Danny to let them know what the situation was. And I'll say, you hang up the phone and you see Josephine stepping away from the table.
Yeah, and I walk over them and I'm like, you want to go to a party?
Yes, and I think I have a way for us to blend a little bit. I am to be meeting the most egocentric man you'll meet, but unfortunately he also has some good information that we might be able to use.
Sounds like a really great time. Let's go.
You are able to kind of get yourselves cleaned up a little bit. You get on the metro uptown to the welcoming district where people would come in when Rapture was accepting new citizens. And so the Welcome Center is all filigree and grandiose and everything you would expect from someone who is trying to sell an image, sell an idea. So you're coming in as you walk across the marble tile. You go through brightly lit glass tunnels that show the width and breadth of the city. You start filtering in with, the rich and more well-to-do of Rapture. You start seeing them congregate together, and you can see they're all wearing different iterations of a mask because it is a masquerade party. And I would say that you would have this information ahead of time, so you'd have enough time to prepare some sort of mask. Would you have a specific mask that you would be wearing?
Josephine would absolutely be wearing a kitty cat mask.
You took my answer.
We can be matching. It could be beautiful.
Can we be matching?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can absolutely be matching. You quickly throw together some masks. Two cats hanging in the club. So I'll say at this point, give me a charm check. I'm gonna put this kind of high because you're starting to get with the upper crust of Rapture. So this is gonna be a 7.
Oop. Okay. That's a D8.
6.
Fuck me, it's 7!
Hey.
Okay. Dianna, what did you get?
A 6.
Dianna.
Wait, but sorry, we could spend an Atom token. I'll give you one of my Atom tokens if
it's actually
because that'll
Atom
get
tokens. Yeah, 2 Atom tokens to bump it up if you'd like to do that.
Oh.
What if my mask gives me a +1 in kitty cuteness?
You know what?
I mean,
I will
Meow.
take it.
Look, it's like right here. Wee.
Oh, that works!
You are able to. You're usually a very threatening presence, even without doing anything that is necessarily aggressive. But a kitty cat mask does a lot to kind of blunt that.
Yeah.
Stop! Now I'm only imagining just this fucking beast of a presence with a teeny tiny kitty cat mask.
It's really fucking cute.
So fucking cute.
It's cute, but don't comment on it. It's really cute though.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like blush. She's like, it does look really cute.
Hellcat, you're used to getting stares of like recognition and at times even like fear. For the first time in a long time, you're getting like looks of appreciation, admiration. You're kind of like becoming like a kind of fun aspect to this party as you get to the doorman and he's standing there and he's like, are you here for the masquerade at Kashmir?
Are you talking to me?
I am, miss.
Oh, sorry, I'm not used to people normally being so nice.
I gently put my hand on her arm, like
we're here for a good time. I hear there's a party going on, and I got myself a rockin' date, and we're ready to go.
Oh, it will be quite the shindig. And he ushers you in, and you see like the alcohol is flowing, people are smoking, music is playing, people are just really enjoying the vibe of being in a party, and you can immediately pick up on that, and kind of like, if you want to make any checks around the room, you can, but you're just kind of like vibing in like this really swanky, upscale New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, I mean, I know I personally want to like survey and see if there's like any people that I recognize in the area.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a brains check. I will say it's going to be a little bit higher just because you're kind of in an intrusive environment where just like there's a lot going on around you. So let's give it a 5.
4.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're just it's a masquerade. You're seeing a lot of masks, and it's kind of hard to, in the lighting, make out who's who.
Yeah, got you.
I would like to look to see if I see Regit.
Give me also a 5 brains.
Okay, that's a D6. +1. Oh, 5 +1, 6.
Okay. That does it.
Wait, would that blow it up? Or because it's +1,
no, it has to be an actual roll. It can be the roll, or if you wanted to, you could add Adam to it to blow it up. But in this case, you make it. It's pretty easy to spot him because he's loud. He's at the bar with like a bunch of people congregated around him, and he's like, and then I was just like throwing around cash, just showing them like, who's boss here? It's Regit. Don't you know who I am? I mean, honestly, this is ridiculous that they would even like question me like that. Oh my gosh, Josephine! Hey, y'all are gonna love Josephine. She's like super pretty, but she also is kind of in the mood.
I'm sorry, kind of what? What did you say?
He intones that you're possibly into him. To the group assembled.
I immediately put my hands on his shoulders to kind of play into it a little bit, and just give a small peck that doesn't really quite touch. Like, it's like a I'm doing the gesture. It's there, but not quite.
Go ahead and give me a
Hello.
star roll, and you're going to be rolling against I'm gonna say his grit.
Oh no. What does he have in grit? I got a 4.
On his D4, he rolled a 3.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He's I'll say this, Diana, when you look at Regit, you see like a thin, waifish man that you could kind of just blow over. Like it's just he's not got a lot of resistance to him.
I make a note of that. And then I kind of, and then like as they kind of just like lean back, I whisper, I'm like, "You gonna be all right, Josie?"
And I think the only reason I haven't introduced you is because I don't necessarily know if you would even. I feel I definitely beat my ass if that. So I just kind of slowly nod. And, do you want to find somewhere we can meet up in a moment?
Yeah, as soon as you say yeah, you just see me just disappear in the crowd. I'm just like, yes, I'm a ghost.
Yeah, you pull away. Josephine, he immediately pulls you back to like a private room. And I'm gonna cut away because actually I'm gonna say that Natalie, I think Addison would be here. I think your boss wants to make as many connections as possible, and what better way to do it than at a party full of the richest people in Rapture? He got all of your protests, like, oh, I don't have an invitation, I don't have anything to wear, I don't have anything you threw up. He immediately buffeted it aside, and so you find yourself at this party. Where would Addison go to, knowing that they are going to be talked to by some of the fine people of Rapture?
Yeah. Well, she said a lot of things of what she doesn't have, but she has something. So she is in a tight black dress number, single slit on the side, drop shoulders, sweetheart neckline. And yeah, she totally swiped a mask that her boss is like, oh yeah, you need this. It's like, fine. And
stop it. How dare you do that to me?
I'm doing it. And she sort of is leaning towards the back, is prepared to be bombarded with potentials, and is taking just the longest drag on the cigarette, letting like the ashes increase until it falls off. And she just sort of looks at it and tosses it into the tray.
You are immediately approached by Helena Tate, and she's like, darling, I have been trying to get a hold of your office for ages now. I have a really good idea. My apartment is, I mean, it's all right, but if I could get the back wall just knocked out, just completely knocked away, and then added an additional just kind of kitchen space where I can be free to kind of brew. I'm cooking right now, and that feels so pedestrian. If I could brew in my space, I've already designed things for you, and I'd love for you to take a look.
I'm sure you have a delightful mood board of personal whimsy for this very personal project. Trying hard not to let the sarcasm out, but it's always there for Addison. I think people expect it.
She's still hanging by you, but you can see her be like, and she continues to try and pester you a little bit. She is going to slide her card to you, and there's just a silly dollar amount on the back. Like, it's just someone who has no connection with monetary value, just being like, sure, this number seems appropriate, and moves on. Is there anything that Addison would be looking for in this? Like, maybe like an escape plan.
Yeah, I think she's very much an exhausted woman who's done with everything and is hoping for a night in. So she will just very politely take the card, be like, well, I will let Mr. Hyatt look into this. They generally get excited for these kind of projects. But I do see someone I know in the corner. They've been wanting to talk to me for a little bit. I'm going to go to them. But enjoy your night, as I'm like now stepping in through the smoke. Absolutely lying about not seeing anybody.
I'll come back to that in a second. I'll actually say this. Addison doesn't see anyone, but Hellcat does. Hellcat is a contact that has been making some inquiries with you that are, interesting. But you, like Hellcat, you see Addison, this high-ranking civil servant that has some inroads in some of the more bureaucratic places that you have just absolutely no access to, and you have, I'll say, some messages have been sent, but we'll come back to that in a second. Hey, Sparrow, I would like you to give me I'll say a brains check to see how well you're doing on your repairs.
Okay.
There's not going to be a DC for this. Let's just see how high you get on it.
That is an 11.
I was doing basically like 3, 9, 12 as levels of productivity. You're cooking. Like, it's easy.
Oh, yeah.
You absolutely like mount the brackets so easily. The hardest thing for you to do was to set up the scaffolding, because it just, setting up tall things and trying to like slide the panels into place just kind of is a pain in the butt. But you
would you argue that, or could I argue that possibly using my telekinesis plasmid at a low level would be without using an atom token?
That's
just kind of like hold stuff in place so that I can just like pilot hole, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is kind of what this was made for. With your brain, just put a bracket against the wall. You grab up that riveter and just like, but, and like you put in the different like rivets where they need to be without having to like strain yourself by pressing your, like, this is the perfect way for this plasmid to be used, and you're actually making incredible time. I'll say that you are so ahead of schedule that like you have maybe one more bracket to put on, and you're kind of giving yourself a little like water break to just kind of like sit down. The street you're on is kind of like adjacent to where everyone is going in toward Kashmir restaurant. So you saw like the crowds of vivacious like entrepreneurs and movers and shakers moving through. I would like you to make let's call it a flight check, and it's going to be a DC 5.
All right. Not going to do it. It's 3.
You saw something move in the shadows. It's like you saw the movement, and when you went to confirm, it was gone. And it's honestly, it's just like the creep factor of not catching what it is. You're just kind of like, you get that like the hackles kind of go up on your neck just for a moment to be like, what did I miss? But you just weren't quick enough, and unfortunately, you're kind of left there to wonder. We're gonna move back into the party. Hellcat, Addison is purposefully like positioning themselves away from people. So at this juncture, I would say private conversations aren't. You can't have like a private conversation, but you can have just a conversation that is unlikely to be intruded on.
All right. Cool. I mean, I make my way over and I say, if it isn't my favorite suit.
Oh, you're looking extra feline-y tonight.
Meow.
I'm expecting this.
I figure I might as well dress up for the occasion, right? If everyone else is dressing up. When in Rome.
Indeed. And I take like another long drag on a cigarette. So, are you actually here for pleasure or here for business?
You know me, a little bit of that business always mixes in with pleasure. 1 and 2 are always the same, I guess.
Oh, I wish I could say the same.
What's your damage?
I think everything is fucking damaged.
I'm not sure if I take that literally or you mean figuratively. Yes, I can use big words. Yeah.
It's both. Come on. I'm sure you've heard as much of the garbage going down as I have.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of important people are amassing for some reason, but Happy New Year, I guess.
Happy New Year, and to everyone begging for personal kitchens.
Well, you know those muckety mucks. They never seem to understand that the workers like you and me. They're definitely mucking. They never seem to understand how the workers are the ones that are doing the real work.
Honestly, just makes me miss working in Chicago.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, is there anything that you feel that Hellcat would be like prying into to try and get information out of Addison for? Because Addison has the high level clearances that you've really been unable to secure.
Oh yeah, I was making my way to. You got to butter the bread a little bit. Trying to. Sorry, that came out.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. I mean, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, Chi-town, huh? So it's like it's a hot new thing. Like anyway, anything interesting happening? I'm just gonna get to the fucking point. I lost my groove.
I'm sorry.
No.
You're distracted by a masked woman in a black dress.
That's what it was. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of those folks who need new kitchens are amassing. You got some info that could be delicious in the kitchen?
Okay, I'm gonna have you make a chart roll on this.
Oh jeez.
Natalie is going to
oh god.
Is going to be opposed with a grit check. So
Jesus.
Sorry, which one am I rolling? You said?
Grit.
Grit.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Dianna, you'll be charmed.
Yeah, 7.
Okay, I rolled super, super low on my grit. It's a 4.
Okay, so in the roundabout way that Hellcat is speaking, Hellcat, you've been interested in kind of the power, like Fontaine disappeared. He died, but then there was like, usually when a powerful figure is removed from the equation, something steps up in his place. And it really doesn't seem like anything has. And there's no way for you to get any information on it because Andrew Ryan, in his infinite wisdom, severed that portion of Rapture and sunk it into the ocean. And so,
Yeah.
whatever business like paper trail you could have gotten is at the bottom of a trench, and the only way you're going to get there is one of two ways. Either one, you get yourself arrested and in enough trouble that you get put there because it's now a prison, or two, you get high level clearance from someone who has like the power to go above legal statutes. And Addison kind of fits that vein. So I'd say Addison would kind of see what Hellcat is getting at. But it's up to you. Like, is that something that you protect? Like, hey, I don't want someone stomping on my credentials, or is it something that you're like,
I think at this point, because she is so exhausted about everything and is at a point where, like, if you're going to create cracks in the system, you're going to suffer those cracks and it's not going to be my responsibility.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's just like, these people always want their new kitchens. They, we built the city on our backs, and they want to act like we should be grateful for that. But in my personal opinion, I feel like it's time to flip the damn table. But what do I know? I'm just here in a kitty cat mask, drinking a bourbon.
It's a city built on pure scientific hubris that's going to collapse on itself because of these elites that think they know better.
Well, you think that they're going to give us a seat at the table if we ask? I feel like if you ask, between you and me, I mean, come on, like, we shouldn't be asking. I mean, in my personal opinion, if you ask me, I feel like we should be taking the whole damn room, but what do I know? Meow.
Meow indeed. And I kind of just glance around a little bit, try and like give another puff of smoke out. Because wasn't one of my projects that I got today went on the list something involving Fontaines?
Oh yeah. When Andrew Ryan severed Fontaine Futuristics, he just essentially cut the line and was like, off with you. That's not a great way to maintain your, structural stability or anything like that. So you're constantly having to go back in and retrofit things that were just carelessly cut and left to just be as they be. And it's often just like small things that will lead to bigger issues.
So I'll just offer Hellcat my cigarette. Be like, I mean, that severance keeps needing to be repaired every once in a while.
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
That severance seems to need constant repair every once in a while.
What a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like would be interesting to maybe go investigate that at some point.
It's definitely on the list to look into for upcoming days.
If you want to let me know when that particularly happens, or if you need any assistance in that,
I'll say labor's always needed.
Labor gets things done. Without labor, it all falls apart.
And with that, we're going to actually roll away from that to a private room in the back. But private is not necessarily the word. Regit has called a cadre of his closest companions to
Mhm.
share in the revelry with. And he has he keeps on trying to put his arm around you, and I imagine you buffet his advances.
Absolutely. A lot of like reaching for my drink, like just at the right moment where it's like so things where it's not wouldn't be perceived by definitely a guy who calls himself alpha, but never able to like make full contact.
And he leans in and he's like, "Listen, I got the hookup. I mean, you know me. I'm a bigwig. They all come to me for their shit, and like I'm like, whoa, there's only so much of me that can go around." Um, he
Yes. Whose most recent fun project do you get to work on?
oh, they're closing off the Fontaine futuristic stuff. Like they're trying to rebrand it so that all the Fontaine stuff is going away. But someone has to. You see him get like a little demure about it. Like someone has to move the boxes and board up the doors. But I was in there and like I was going through like all of this information. It's like, man, the guy. I mean, I thought he was a criminal, but he's really connected into the science stuff. Like him and Su Chong were like, I mean, he got us the plasmids. So like, this guy had to be smart. So I was like, I was reading, and I found a piece of paper, and it was talking about a procedure, and your name is on it.
My name is on it?
He's going to hold up a piece of paper. I need you to make a charm check.
Okay. Okay. That's 4.
With a natural 1, what do you say to him to get that paper from him?
I think I'm assuming big alpha dude. He's got to have a tie on or something. Not that ties are alpha dude signature, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I'll like kind of just start pulling at the end of it and pulling him close. Let me see the paper.
He actually like giggles. He's like, "Yo, okay." And he hands over the document. And it's a lot of like medical jargon, but it has something to do with like a procedure on. It's hard to tell from the way it's phrased, but you see your name. You see your name on a list, and it goes Percy Dunn, Josephine Holiday, Helena Ortega, Laurel West, Bernadette Rhodes.
Say it again. Say it again. Percy Dunn,
Percy Dunn,
Helena,
Josephine Holiday, Helena Ortega, Laurel West, and Bernadette Rhodes. And it's hard. I mean, you can make a brains check about it. I'm going to warn you, it is silly high, but you can absolutely do it.
I'm gonna try. My brains are 6 + 1, so you know. Maybe if I am rude to it, this is gonna fail. You're gonna fail. That's a 4. So I just took it. I just knew it was gonna fail.
Like it is so imperceptible. Like you just cannot pierce through the jargon and gibberish that this is trying to indicate.
Yeah, for
whatever
sure.
it is, the procedure was a success, and they're moving ahead. But there's nothing that you can really make out other than that.
I think that First of all, as soon as he like pulled out the paper, I let go of that tie so quick and snatched it and like got as close to try and focus and was like, okay, this is making sense, and just put it into my top. And
You see him dance around for a second. He's like, "Oh, you want me to go fishing? You want me to go fishing?"
No, this is mine now. And you found it where?
Oh, when I was boarding up Fontaine Futuristics over in Prometheus Point.
Yes. Yeah. How much left do you have to board up?
I should be finishing those tomorrow, and then nobody's looking to go in.
Interesting. Do you need help? I'd love to get more time with you.
You see him break. His voice breaks for a moment there, where he's just like, I would, but I have security clearance and I have to I can't do that. That's too much.
Interesting. Well, what a shame.
I will say
I just kind of go back to sipping my drink and turning, not necessarily ignoring him completely, but just showing a little bit of interest.
I will say at this point, it's late in the evening. New Year's is imminent, and I will say anyone that would like to can make a flight check. The DC is just 4.
Flight check. What said?
I'll try, but it's my worst stat. Yeah. A 4 explosion. Yay.
Oh,
I also got a 4 explosion. I'm not there, but I did.
Why not? So I got 6 total.
Did
No, I got a 1. Shh, don't even look at me.
Hellcat, what did you end up getting?
You're muted.
I got a 5. That was surprising. I got a explode and then I got a 1.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay. Hey, Hellcat came here for a job. You came here off of a tip, and I'll say at some point through the night, you see Dianna McClintock, and you do not see Andrew Ryan. And I'll say, because of your role being so high, Dianna McClintock looks emotionally in a bad place, like maybe he was supposed to be here. And Addison, Natalie, Addison sees that there is a lot of everyone's still expecting Ryan to make an appearance. They just hold out hope the entire night, so that they keep on whispering about it. His legend and stature keeps on growing, but the hour is coming and he's not here. At some point, you're doing the math of the travel from his office to here. You're like, he's not coming, and this isn't a question of oh no, he's late. And I'll say, Sparrow, Wendy is finishing up with the last bracket. You're kind of dismantling the scaffolding. With telekinesis, it's kind of easy. You just kind of let it fall in a controlled fashion. But you saw that movement, and you're done with the job. You can go check it out. And you find a small alleyway kind of behind things.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see shapes in the back. And you hear voices.
Wendy, real quick, before even doing that part, has all his various tools. There's a black it's not a duffel bag because it's not really a thing, in this era. but it's like almost like a black like rat. It almost looked like it would be like a golf bag,
Yeah.
but it's smaller. And he kind of just like discreet like looks around and makes sure that like nobody's not really paying attention, and he pulls a sawed-off shotgun out of that small golf like bag and kind of just like attaches it to this like grip on his belt. So it's like behind him, like behind his like right hip. So like someone looking at him would have to like either know it's there or like kind of come around him to see it before he does anything. So he's got this giant wrench in hand and a shotgun attached to like this grip on his hip.
Yeah.
I love that.
You've been at some jobs where you're just like, I do not feel safe. And you have to come prepared. Like, hey, sometimes all you need to do is just show that you could be a problem and it fixes everything. But you hear voices and it's like, no, we wait for him. And then once it happens, we can go inside and we can, that's when we do it. That's when it goes. That's when we go. We're going to cut away from you as the restaurant dims and a voice comes over the loudspeaker. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, the hour is drawing near and it's time for Andrew Ryan's citywide address on New Year's. The audio rings for a moment as like it's the signal is being transferred over to from wherever Ryan is, and a small screen alights in the darkness that shows the kind of face, the chin and nose of Andrew Ryan with like a hat drawn low as his voice resonates through the room. So it appears we have once again bent science to our whims. Not only have we survived in our underwater haven, but we have thrived. Our principles, uncorrupted, our goals, our pace, our reach, unbounded. Today marks a turning point for us as we have all collectively made our lives meaningful, impactful, and have seen the beguiling path toward ruin and resolutely said no. No, we will not allow crime to bait us into ruination. No, we turn our gaze from the poisons of the surface. No, a snake cannot live in our garden and prey on our fears. It is with great honor and tremendous purpose that I say goodbye to 1958 and welcome the potential of 1959, a frontier simply waiting for us to conquer. I would like Wildcat and Addison to make a flight check, DC 8.
Nah, that ain't happening, babe.
I gotta explode to get that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, 1.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, so what was Addison's?
1.
Okay. As the lights kind of re-emerge, like the room alights again, and the crowd cheers rapturously at this rousing speech. This
What a
restaurant
blowhard.
is 2 floors, and on the bottom floor is a giant statue depicting Atlas holding the sky.
Yeah.
It explodes. A bomb planted in it explodes in the midst of all the gatherers. Each of you takes a minor injury as the whole of it just like metal shrapnel fires everywhere. You were actually like one of the lucky ones that wasn't standing right next to the statue as it is fired apart and shreds those around it. But you are knocked to the ground and your ears ring as this monumentous impact erupts around you. Josephine, you hear this from the other room. The whole place shakes and lights dim and come back. Everyone panics and screams, and then you hear doors kick in and gunshots fire.
What the fuck?
I will allow Wendy, you are standing at the door as you see a group of people gathered at the kind of service entrance for Kashmir Restaurant. They have you, as you delve deeper, you notice you're not the only one packing here. They are absolutely, like, each and every one of them is equipped well. This isn't just, hey, I've got a pop gun. This is, we are an armed mob. And this, numbers wise, you're looking at maybe 8 people gathered here at this door.
See, Wendy is of two minds here. On one hand, this ain't his fucking business. He should just go home. So there's a moment in there where he thinks that, but there are two things stopping him. The first one being that if these armed people are willing to attack Kashmir, which he has some inkling that Andrew Ryan would be around, there's not much stopping them from coming around to other
remember,
places.
Joe told you earlier that is where she was
the
headed,
second one.
And
that
and
is reason
where
number 2.
he's gonna be.
So you're saying, come save me?
No, I'm just saying you would know that the Andrew Ryan's gonna be there because I was just bragging about
Reason number 1 is he could make this not his problem, but it sounds like it will be his problem regardless. And reason number 2 is he does know that Josephine is there. So with a breath, he's going to, as quietly as he can, take this shotgun off his hip, and he's going to fire in their general direction. And then he's making a move to, like, get cover.
Yeah.
Because he can surprise them one time. Well, maybe twice. We'll see.
Yeah. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
They get a -2 because I'm attacking with a firearm. I have crack shot.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay. So we're just gonna. This is Okay. Go ahead and make your roll.
It's a fight roll, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a smooth nope. It's a 19. I was gonna say it was a dirty 20, but it's not, because I don't have the +1 to that.
The first one, you can fire into the group, because that's kind of like the only thing that you have right now. They're in dark profile. You don't have like an aiming reticle that you can like really get a good shot on them, but you have a sawed-off shotgun. The whole point of it is that it's supposed to spread. So you kind of wait for the moment. You're like, there's gonna be a moment where they are making their attack, they're making their move, and if you do a simultaneous move, that's 2 stimulus hitting them at once. And you're like, that's my best chance to get anything effective going on. So they kick that door, and your trigger, like your finger squeezes on that trigger and fires off. And 2 of those guys just like drop with a like to their knee as they are hit with buckshot from a gun. And You immediately roll behind cover. The two realize that they are being attacked, but the other 6, they're inside. Like they are fully on board with this plan. You actually hear the bomb go off, and you see things kick off. I will. Josephine, you are in a room and you hear gunshots around you. Is there some action that you would like to take?
Well, my immediate thought is that because the only people that are around me is scrawny homie, no thanks. The only other person that I know of that would absolutely be able to help me figure out what the fuck to do is Hellcat. So I feel like I would definitely drop to the floor and like kind of completely forget about Regit and go try and find Hellcat.
Yeah.
Sorry, Helena, because I don't know that.
You see Regit like point to his cadre around him and be like, "Go figure out what that is. Go out there. Figure out what's going on. I gotta stay here." They very not on board with this plan, like step forward and are like, "Okay, I guess we're going out." I'm just gonna roll this now so that you hear the rattle of a Tommy gun spray the wall, and then another 2 shots from a handgun, and there's no reason to believe that his friends made it. And you hear screaming, and this is very much kicking off right now. I'll go to Addison first. Addison, hey, I want an honest answer on this. Do you think you brought a weapon to a nice party?
Hey, a lady's going to be walking home by herself late at night.
That's fair.
So I think initially on the floor, and Hellcat would probably catch this, the mask having thrown right off. Addison like reaches up to her face where her scars initially are, and she seems like shocked for a moment, kind of a distant stare before shaking her head a little bit. And she gets up onto her knees and ducks her hand through the slit of the skirt and pulls out her revolver that she had strapped underneath there.
Hell yeah.
You see, I'll say 3 attackers with guns, but you're not sure if that is the total.
Okay. Well, even though she's prepared, she's not much of a fighter. So Addison's going to try and keep cover to keep out of sight from these individuals and see if she can get like a better shot. Are they on, like you said, we were on the 2nd floor? So are they on the 1st?
Yeah, they're kind of busting through the 1st floor. You're on the 2nd one. So you have a moment to kind of like ready yourself.
All right. So I'm going to go take cover. And I think, even though I have my revolver, I'm going to be preparing my telekinesis, because if anything is coming at me, I'm just going to launch it right back at him.
Yeah, gotcha. Make a flight check.
Because I'm so good at these. It is a 4, so I roll again. Explodey.
Awesome, you explode.
And that comes to 6 total.
You find there's a little alcove that, they put in for romantic trysts. But you like immediately duck behind. And I'll say, because you rolled so well, you see Dianna McClintock, Ryan's assistant. She has a grievous wound to her head. And she's reaching a shaky hand up to her face, and oh my god, I've been hurt. I'm bleeding. And we'll cut away from you. Hellcat, what are you doing?
Yeah, as soon as that kind of happened, I'm just like a little hurt by that. And I see the chaos around me, and my first thought is trying to, as I see as I see you walk away, or slink away, I'm like, okay, bye.
Taking cover.
taking cover. I pretty much do the same thing. I move over, try to find a safe spot, and I pull out I have a Tommy gun, and I always carry that baby with me in the back of my like back here, and it's kind of like my sword. I pull it back from the back, and I'm just like, whoosh.
Yeah.
And I proceed to start, it sounds like, you motherfuckers, that hurt!
All with the kitty cat mask on.
All with the kitty cat mask on. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll me a flight check.
God damn it. Why? Ugh. Cocked. 2. It's a 4. It's a D4 for me. I don't run.
Oh, if you rolled a 4 on a D4, you roll it again. It exploded.
No, I rolled a 2.
Oh,
I rolled a 2.
Oh.
I was just explaining that it's a D4, so it's to show you that it's always miserable.
You are looking for a spot that has decent cover because you know where they're coming from. They're coming from up the stairs, so you're looking for a spot that's like, hey, am I out of the field? But you just aren't fast enough on your feet, and a head pokes up right as you're trying to get a spot and fires off 2 shots, and you're forced to dive like behind the bar, and you're just like you're in a bad spot. You need to get up and do something about it in your next turn. I'm going to go to Josephine. You said that you're trying to get out of the room to find Hellcat, right?
Correct. Yeah, I would. If I'm going to be in a situation, I want somebody who I know is competent rather than.
Yeah.
Regit.
Go ahead and roll me. I'll give you a choice. You can give me a flight check, and the DC will be 5, or a brains check, and the DC will be 7.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to do flight check. Because I have a D10 in that. Oh.
It's so nice. What's that like?
Oh, fuck. You said it was what, though? It's a 5. What did you say it was? Fuck yes.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, 5. I got a 5.
Awesome.
Exactly,
okay.
On the dot.
Hey, as someone who works at a club, you kind of know the ins and outs of moving through spaces when you don't want to be seen.
Moving through a
doesn't
crowd,
even see you disappear. He's just like, all right, we're going to figure this out. Josephine, we're going to be together forever, and this is going to be, where'd you go?
Whoa.
Yikes.
Regit,
on bike.
Relax, buddy.
This is no longer kids on bikes. This is yikes on bikes.
It's yikes on bikes.
For real. My next tattoo.
As you leave, you get behind the bar and you find Hellcat under a hail of fire. This person is just firing their pistol at the bar, and Hellcat is just like, you have to wait until they run out of ammo, and then you can peek your head up, because otherwise you're going to get shot. So you two meet up under the bar.
Okay, but I also do have a shotgun, and I feel like with my admiration for Wendy and how smart of a man that guy is, it's sawed off also. I was like, oh, okay, genius doing it. So I want to ready myself with that too.
Yeah. Do you want to make it the attack now, or do you want to make a duck and cover kind of thing?
Well, actually, is it possible that I would be able to I see her taking cover, and would I be able to help and shoot whoever's shooting towards that area?
Yeah, just make a
as
fight check.
as I'm walking up.
Yeah,
Okay, you
just
said
make a
fight or
check.
flight?
Fight.
Oh fuck. Okay, that's 4 + 1. Woof. Okay. I was mean to you last time, so I'm sorry, and I think you're great. Fuck, that's a 2.
I believe
Does not believe me.
when you're making a attack with your shotgun, it allows you to roll fight plus brawn. So also roll.
Oh, right. Okay. 12. Oh, convenient. Also, that would have been a 3 actually, because it's my +1, right?
Okay.
So it would be 2 + 3. Okay, +1.
So you're at a 3 right now.
And then this.
Yeah, roll your brawn.
Fuck me. Hold on. It bounced right up. And 5. 8. Math?
It's just an unfortunate thing. They were not caught unawares. They saw you coming, and you fire off a round, but they are able to duck the stairwell, and you just spray like light bulbs and glass just shatters around them. But you are unable to actually get them.
It's just like I just reach down and grab her and I pull her down. It's just like, what are you doing? That is not what you do. You don't do that.
Somebody come to me. I was me.
As you're being pulled under, you hear a voice call out from the back room, Josephine, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Josephine? And Reggie comes running out. And as he comes into view of like 2 or 3 splicers, they're like, that's him, get him! And they all instantaneously turn on him and shoot him. And he is immediately killed.
A sacrifice I'm willing to make, you know?
And then...
Can we loot the body?
And at that, I believe...
Gotta loot that body!
Loot it! Loot that body!
I believe at that is all the time we have for this session. So,
God.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for a premiere episode of Bioshock Perdition. This has been an absolute fantastic time. I'm so glad that you all joined me. My name is Patrick. I have been your game master for tonight. You can catch me on Blue Sky, Mr. Patrick Cakes, and I will throw it over to Natalie.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Natalie, she, they, and I was playing Addison, she, her. Find me most places on the internet with Ghost Candle, where I do loads of things, mostly art, and you'll find me fluttering about in different actual play tables, so just follow me to see what I'm up to next.
And I will throw it over to Sparrow.
Hi, hello, hi. I am your favorite burb on the interweb, A Black Sparrow, from the Feywild Denell and the Zoldathon team. I stream usually on my channel, which is twitch.tv/A Black Sparrow. I believe we're closing up Crosshaven next week Thursday, which is twitch.tv/The Real Gobshite. If that's a lot, so just follow me on Blue Sky at ablacksparrow.com, or just find my socials. I'm A Black Sparrow most places, so hit me there. I enjoyed playing Wendy today. Pronouns he, him. Also, my pronouns are he, him. Back to the studio.
I'll throw it over to Dianna.
Yeah, hi, I am Dianna, and she, her, and I was playing Helena Hellcat Ortega. Also pronouns she, her. You can find me on, gosh, my socials are messed up at this point. So you can find me on Blue Sky as under GRLPANTS or Girl Pants. How everybody kind of knows me. That's GRLPANTS. And then pretty much you can, on my bio are all my links. I had so much fun. This was a blast, and I can't wait to dive into Bioshock again with y'all.
All right, and we'll wrap it up with Flynn.
Okay, I wrote it down this time. I remember now. Okay, my name is Flynn. No, my screen names are OMG Flynn or OMG Flan. And I was playing Josephine Holiday. And I don't have anything to promote at all. So go look at everyone else's beautiful things that they're involved in or else.
All
That's
right. Thank you all so much. This has been amazing, and we will be back the same time next week to see exactly what this crew is getting themselves into.
Ooh. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Yeah,
New Year.
basically.
Basically.